Here's something that might surprise you. In New South Wales right now, if you're caught using your phone while driving, you could lose 5 demerit points instantly. That's nearly half the points a provisional driver is allowed before losing their license completely. And if it happens during a holiday period, those points double to 10. If you're driving anywhere in Australia, the next few minutes could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars in fines and potentially save your driving license. Stick around because some of these rules have changed recently, and even experienced drivers are getting caught out. Welcome to the channel where we break down the laws and regulations that actually matter to your everyday life. Today, we're talking about Australian driving laws in 2025, and trust me, there's a lot you need to know. Australian roads have seen some significant changes over the past few years, with new technology making enforcement more sophisticated than ever before. From mobile phone detection cameras that can photograph you through your windscreen, to average speed cameras being trialed on major roads, authorities are using cutting-edge technology to improve road safety. But here's the thing. This isn't about scaring you. It's about keeping you informed so you can drive safely, avoid costly mistakes, and keep your license. Whether you're a learner driver, on your provisionals, or you've been driving for decades, understanding these rules is absolutely essential. So let's dive in. Let's start with mobile phones, because this is where thousands of Australian drivers are getting hit with penalties every single week. In New South Wales, the current fine for illegal mobile phone use is $423. If you're caught in a school zone, that jumps to $562. But the real sting comes from the demerit points. 5 points for a single offense. During double demerit periods, which happen over major holidays like Christmas, Easter, and long weekends, you'll cop 10 demerit points from just one mobile phone violation. Think about what that means. If you hold a full license in New South Wales, you can only accumulate 13 demerit points over 3 years before your license gets suspended. One mobile phone offense during a double demerit period takes away 10 of those points. For provisional P1 drivers, who can only accumulate 4 points total, a single mobile phone offense means an immediate license suspension. Just one mistake, and your license is gone. But here's what catches so many people out, and this is really important. The rules don't just apply when you're actively making calls or sending texts. You cannot touch your phone for any reason while your vehicle is moving, or while you're stopped in traffic. That means you can't change your music, you can't check your GPS, you can't glance at a notification, and you can't even hold your phone in your hand without using it. Mobile phone detection cameras are now operating across New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory, and they're incredibly sophisticated. These cameras use artificial intelligence to detect when drivers are holding or touching mobile phones. They work day and night in all weather conditions, and they can photograph you through your windscreen even when you think nobody's watching. The camera captures an image. AI reviews it, and if it detects potential illegal phone use, a human operator confirms it before a fine is issued. For fully licensed drivers, here's what you can do. Your phone must be secured in a properly fixed mounting bracket. You can use it for navigation or audio functions, but you cannot touch it while driving. You must use voice commands or Bluetooth only. The moment you touch that screen while driving, even if it's mounted, you're breaking the law. For learner and provisional license holders, the rules are even stricter. You cannot use a mobile phone in any capacity while driving. No hands-free calls, no navigation, no music apps, nothing. If you need GPS, you must use a built-in vehicle system or a standalone GPS device that's properly mounted and set up before you start driving. Queensland has similar penalties, with fines reaching over $1,200 in some cases. Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia, and other states and territories all have strict mobile phone laws with substantial penalties. The message from authorities across Australia is crystal clear. Put your phone away before you drive, and don't touch it until you're parked with the engine off. Now, let's talk about speeding, Because this is another area where enforcement has become incredibly strict and the technology police use is more advanced than ever. In New South Wales, speeding fines work on a sliding scale. If you're caught doing less than 10 kilometers over the limit, you're looking at a fine of $137 and 1 demerit point. Between 10 and 20 over, it's around $300 and 3 demerit points. Between 20 and 30 over the limit, you're facing over $400 and 4 demerit points. And if you're caught doing more than 30 kilometers over the speed limit, the penalties become very serious. Substantial fines, multiple demerit points, and potential license suspension. From July 2025, New South Wales began trialing average speed cameras on certain regional roads for light vehicles. Unlike traditional speed cameras that capture your speed at one point, average speed cameras measure how long it takes you to travel between 2 points and calculate your average speed. This means you can't just slow down when you see a camera and speed up again afterward. Mobile speed cameras are everywhere these days. They can be in marked or unmarked vehicles, on trailers parked on the side of the road, or handheld devices operated by police officers. They can detect your speed from over a kilometer away, they work in all weather conditions, and they can catch multiple vehicles simultaneously. School zones deserve special attention because the penalties there are significantly higher. School zone speed limits, typically 40 kilometers per hour, apply during specific times on school days, usually from 8 in the morning until 9:30, and again from 2:30 in the afternoon until 4. The fines for speeding in school zones are increased, and police regularly run targeted operations in these areas. If you're driving near schools, always check the electronic signs and slow down during school zone hours. From July 2025, Victoria expanded what's called Road Rule 79A. Now, when you see emergency vehicles, police, tow trucks, roadside assistance vehicles, or incident response vehicles with flashing red, blue, magenta, or yellow lights on any road, including freeways, you must slow down to 40 kilometers per hour. This rule is designed to protect emergency workers and roadside assistance operators who are incredibly vulnerable while working on busy roads. South Australia has gone even further. From May 2025, drivers must slow down to 25 kilometers per hour when passing stationary breakdown or roadside assistance vehicles with amber flashing lights on multi-lane roads. This is part of the Slow Down for Yellow campaign, recognizing that roadside workers face serious dangers every single day. Understanding the demerit points system is crucial because accumulating too many points means losing your license. If you hold a full, unrestricted license, you can accumulate 13 demerit points over a 3-year period before facing suspension. If you exceed this limit, you'll receive a notice of suspension and typically lose your license for 3 months. However, there's an alternative called a good behavior period. Instead of serving a 3-month suspension, you can elect to take a 12-month good behavior period where you keep your license but can only accumulate 2 additional demerit points during that entire year. If you get even one more offense during the good behavior period that puts you over 2 points, you lose your license for double the original suspension period. For provisional and learner drivers, the limits are much stricter. P1 provisional license holders can only accumulate 4 demerit points before suspension. PZY drivers can accumulate 7 points. This means a single serious offense like using a mobile phone while driving results in immediate license suspension for a provisional driver. Learner and P1 license holders face automatic suspension of at least 3 months for any speeding offense, regardless of how minor. P2 provisional license holders must stay on their P2 license for an extra 6 months every time they're caught speeding 30 kilometers or more over the speed limit. These strict limits for young drivers are designed to encourage safe driving habits during the learning period, but they also mean that one mistake can have severe, life-changing consequences. If you're a young driver, or if you're a parent of a young driver, understanding these rules isn't optional, it's essential. Drink driving and drug driving laws in Australia are strictly enforced, with police conducting extensive random breath testing and drug testing operations across the country. The legal blood alcohol limit in Australia is 0.05 for fully licensed drivers. But if you're on a provisional license or a learner's permit, you must have 0 blood alcohol. Not a single drop can be in your system. The penalties for drink driving depend on your blood alcohol reading, but even a first offense at a low reading can result in fines of several $1,000s, loss of license for several months, and a criminal conviction that stays on your record. Drug driving laws have become particularly strict. Police can test for methamphetamine, cannabis, and MDMA using roadside saliva tests. From 2025, New South Wales has extended testing to include cocaine detection. Here's what's critical to understand. Unlike drink driving, there's no legal limit for drugs. Any detectable amount of these drugs in your system while driving is an offense, even if you consumed the drugs days before and you're not actually impaired at the time of driving. This has caught out many drivers who thought they were safe to drive because they didn't feel affected, only to test positive for drugs still in their system from previous use. The penalties for drug driving are severe, including heavy fines, immediate license suspension, and mandatory court appearances that can result in criminal convictions. Seatbelt enforcement has been stepped up significantly, with new technology making detection easier than ever. From July 2024, New South Wales expanded its mobile phone detection cameras to also detect seatbelt violations. The same AI technology that spots phone use can now identify drivers and passengers not wearing seatbelts. The driver is legally responsible for ensuring that all passengers are properly restrained. If you have an unrestrained passenger in your car, you're the one who gets the fine and the demerit points, not the passenger. This is particularly important for parents with children because child restraint laws are very specific about what type of seat or booster is required based on the child's age and size. Police regularly conduct operations targeting seatbelt compliance, and the fines can run into several $100s with 3 demerit points for each unrestrained occupant. It's worth noting that in 2024, on average, 29 drivers and passengers were killed each year in New South Wales who weren't wearing available seatbelts. Wearing your seatbelt isn't just about avoiding a fine, it literally doubles your chances of surviving a serious crash. Beyond the major offenses we've covered, there are numerous other road rules that carry significant penalties. Tailgating or following too closely is a major enforcement focus because it's a leading cause of rear-end collisions. The general rule is that you should maintain a following distance of at least 3 seconds in good conditions, increasing to 4 seconds or more in poor weather or at higher speeds. Police use both marked and unmarked vehicles to monitor following distances, and the penalty can be several $100s and 3 demerit points. Running red lights is treated extremely seriously because of the high risk of serious accidents at intersections. Red light cameras are installed at many busy intersections and capture both images and video footage. The fine is typically over $400, and you lose 3 demerit points. What catches many drivers out is that you cannot enter the intersection if the light is yellow, and you can safely stop. The yellow light is a warning that the light is about to turn red, not permission to speed up and try to beat the red. Pedestrian crossing rules have become stricter, with police paying particular attention to drivers who fail to give way to pedestrians. When you approach any marked pedestrian crossing, you must slow down and be prepared to stop if a pedestrian is crossing or waiting to cross. At school, crossings when the flags are out or the lights are operating, you must stop completely and remain stopped until all pedestrians have cleared the crossing. Failing to stop at a school crossing carries heavy penalties because of the serious risk to children. Roundabout rules are another source of confusion and frequent violations. When entering a roundabout, you must give way to any vehicle already in the roundabout or entering from your right. You must indicate left when you're ready to exit. And if you're going straight through or turning right, you should indicate right when entering and then indicate left before your exit. Many drivers get ticketed for failing to give way at roundabouts or for not indicating correctly. It's worth noting that from July 2025, most traffic penalties increased across various states due to indexation. In New South Wales, penalties, fees, and charges increased by 3.2% to reflect consumer price index changes. Queensland increased fines and registration costs by 3.4%. These might seem like small percentages, but they add up. A $400 fine becoming $423 might not sound like much, but when you're already facing significant penalties, every dollar matters. The financial impact of traffic violations extends well beyond the immediate fine. If you accumulate demerit points and lose your license, you might need to rely on taxis, rideshare services, or public transport, all of which have ongoing costs. You might need to pay someone to drive you to work or to handle tasks you normally do yourself. If your job requires driving, losing your license could mean losing your employment. If you live in an area without good public transport, losing your license can make it extremely difficult to get to work, attend medical appointments, or manage daily activities. Some people can apply for work licenses or hardship licenses that allow restricted driving for employment purposes during a suspension period, but these are not automatically granted and require appearing in court to prove extreme hardship. Insurance implications are another consideration many drivers don't think about until it's too late. Every traffic offense you're convicted of goes on your driving record, and insurance companies check these records when you apply for coverage or when you make a claim. Multiple traffic violations can result in significantly higher insurance premiums, and in some cases, insurance companies may refuse to provide coverage at all. If you're involved in an accident and the investigation reveals you were speeding, using your mobile phone, or breaking other road rules at the time, your insurance company may refuse to pay your claim, leaving you personally liable for all damages. How to protect yourself and drive safely. The key to avoiding all these penalties and keeping your license safe actually comes down to some straightforward principles that require constant attention and discipline. Put your phone away completely before you start driving and don't touch it again until you're parked with the engine off. If you need navigation, set it up before you leave using a properly mounted device. Better yet, plan your route in advance. Watch your speed constantly, not just when you think there might be cameras around. Speed limits are set based on road conditions, traffic patterns, and safety considerations. Following them isn't just about avoiding fines. It's about giving yourself enough time to react if something unexpected happens. Wear your seatbelt every single time you're in a vehicle, no matter how short the trip. Make sure all your passengers are buckled up too, because you're responsible for ensuring everyone in your vehicle is properly restrained. Never drive after drinking any alcohol if you're on a provisional license. If you're fully licensed, stay well under the 0.05 limit. Remember that alcohol affects everyone differently, and factors like your weight, what you've eaten, and how quickly you're drinking all play a role. When in doubt, don't drive. Give your full attention to driving and avoid any distractions. That means no eating elaborate meals, no applying makeup, no reading, and no doing anything else that takes your eyes or mind off the road for more than a second or two. Know and follow all the road rules, even the ones that might seem minor or that you think nobody enforces. Maintain proper following distances, indicate correctly, give way at roundabouts, stop completely at stop signs, and respect pedestrian crossings. The reality is that driving is a privilege, not a right, and that privilege comes with serious responsibilities. Every time you get behind the wheel, you're controlling a machine weighing well over a ton that can cause serious injury or death if used improperly. The rules we've discussed today exist to protect everyone on the roads: you, your passengers, other drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. Police enforcement might sometimes feel strict, but the statistics consistently show that areas with strong enforcement have fewer serious accidents and lower road tolls. If you do receive a traffic infringement notice, deal with it promptly. Ignoring it won't make it go away and will only result in additional penalties. If you genuinely believe the penalty was issued in error, or if there were circumstances beyond your control, you have the right to request a review or contest it in court. However, there are risks associated with contesting penalties, so consider getting legal advice before deciding how to proceed. The information I've shared today is based on current laws as of late 2025. But remember that road rules and penalties can change. Always check your state or territory transport authority website for the most up-to-date information specific to where you're driving. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're committed to bringing you important updates about laws, regulations, and changes that affect your everyday life. Share this video with your family members, friends, and anyone else you know who drives, because this information is crucial for every single person who gets behind the wheel. Drop a comment below if you have questions, or if you've had experiences with traffic enforcement that you'd like to share. I read through the comments, and I'll do my best to respond and provide additional information where I can. Remember, the best way to avoid penalties is simple. Follow the rules, stay alert, and drive safely every single time. Your safety and the safety of everyone else on the road depends on it. Thanks for watching. Drive safe, and I'll see you in the next video where we continue breaking down important topics that impact your daily life.